finally, I think you make a great point, but this isn't the first misrepresentation of Arabs that we've seen in Hollywood films, is it? And what's your view on this? And is it changing, do you think, to become better? Because that is the big question. We ever going to see a balanced presentation of Arabs in Hollywood movies and film moving forward?
Well, Ray, of course, you are the expert on this topic, and I'm an avid follower of your journalistic career, and I know you covered this topic extensively throughout the last few decades. I also defer you to the works of the late Honorable Jacques Chahine, who wrote the book Real Bad Arabs. And in that book, there are some shocking statistics, such as in 1,000 films produced by Hollywood, the Arabs were only presented or portrayed positively in 12%. So that's only 12% out of 1,000 films where we had a positive portrayals for Arabs and Muslims. And I think that tells you the whole story, that there is a bias, unfortunately. Now, we can argue whether or not that is intentional or unintentional. Is that based on ignorance or hatred? There's so many things that could have caused this, but the reality is it is a problem that exists. Now, to be fair, it has been getting better as Hollywood becomes fairer towards minorities and towards people of different religions and different backgrounds. We have in recent years seen Arabs and Muslims being portrayed as heroes, sometimes superheroes, not just as villains. But more importantly, Ray, is as Arabs, we should not wait for Hollywood, and we should not wait for people with Orientalist agendas to tell our story. We should be the masters of our own destiny. We should be the masters of our own storytelling. And I tell you one more thing before we conclude. Actions speak louder than words. So when we see the evacuation efforts that have been spearheaded by Saudi Arabia in recent days, evacuating not just Saudi or Arab or Muslim evacuees from Sudan, but people from Americans and British people and Indian people, people from all over the world. That tells a story. When there is, and this is a real story, when there's an Indian evacuee who had kidney failure, there was an ambulance waiting for him as soon as he arrived from Sudan in the port of Jeddah to take him to do the dialysis. And thanks to the action, not the words, of the Saudi health authorities, that person today is still alive, and he could have lost his life if it wasn't for the action and the speed of that action that has occurred. It's the same argument with Saudi Arabia or the UAE sending astronauts to space and contributing to science on that front. These are actions that speak louder than words, and it forces the narrative to change because nobody can argue the facts. So we're not doing enough yet to tell our story, but I do see a step in the right direction. I do hope it continues.